You are listening to ProveText, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture with Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb and Dr. Frederick J. Long. Welcome and enjoy.
Aloha, Michael Halcomb here, and this is another episode of Three Things. I want to give you three things to think about as you start your week or whenever you happen to be listening to this episode. Here's what I'm thinking about. With the Christmas story in the mix, I'm recording this in December 2022. We just get a lot of things wrong. Previously, I was talking about how there aren't wise men, and we don't know that there were three of them. They were magi. Here, I just want to bring out the point that, Jesus was not born or turned away from an inn, and he was not born in a cave. But he certainly wasn't turned away from an inn. That's just a myth. This comes from a misunderstanding, really a mistranslation, which leads to a misunderstanding of the Greek word katadiuma. Now, in Luke 2, which is where we get this supposed scene of Jesus' family being turned away from an inn, we have this last prepositional phrase in Luke 2:7, endo katadiumati, right? Which means in the katadiuma. Well, what is a katadiuma? A lot of people have translated that in, but archaeologically, we've never found an inn in Bethlehem. There was no need. Besides, it would have been shameful and dishonorable for the family to turn away a pregnant family member when they came to their hometown. So, and it would have been shameful for the pregnant family member to try to go to an inn instead of the family home when they came into town. So there is no inn here. The word katadiuma just means upper room. Now, if you go to Luke, so that's Luke 2:7, but if you go to Luke 22:11, this is right near the end of the story during Passover week, and Jesus is getting ready to have the Passover meal with his disciples, and they're talking about the kataliuma, same exact word in Luke 2:7, where they're going to eat this, the upper room where they're going to eat this. All right, so we wouldn't translate this in Luke 22:11 that Jesus is saying, where is the inn where I'm going to share the Passover with my disciples? We wouldn't say that. He's asking about the upper room. And we should translate it the same way in Luke 2:7, that Joseph and Mary and Jesus in the womb were turned away not from an inn or a hotel or a motel, and Jesus was not born in a cave, but understanding culturally that when they got to the family house in Bethlehem, there was no room in the upper room because all the other relatives were already there. So they were turned away from the upper room, which means they stayed downstairs. And that's often where the animals were brought in at night to be protected from thieves and that sort of thing. And that's why there was a manger present. So Jesus was born in the family home in the downstairs room, right? He wasn't turned away from an inn. So let's get that part of the Christmas story right. It's really, really important. Here's something else I'm thinking of. Just the fact that, there's one really popular level sort of writer that's been helpful to me and that I enjoy reading. I don't read a lot of popular level writing, but I'll share some of the folks I do in perhaps upcoming episodes. But I was thinking this week, I was just thankful for the ministry of John Eldredge. He's written some great books. Moving Mountains is one that I found helpful. It's a book on prayer. But released his Pause app, which you've heard me talk about before, has been a real game changer for me in terms of my own prayer life. And so just commend some of the work of John Eldredge to you. And on a completely different note, free pics. There's a website that you may or may not be unaware of called Unsplash. And you can go to unsplash.com and search for tons of free, high-quality visuals and photos. You can use them for slides or, book covers or whatever, but a lot of great image resources on unsplash.com. We use that for our daily prayer blog, in fact. A great resource, unsplash.com. All right, so those are 3 things that I'm thinking about. I hope they've been thought-provoking for you.
Looking for creative ways to launch your biblical language studies to the next level? We here at Glossa House create resources with you in mind. We've created a stock of innovative and cutting-edge audio, video, digital, and print resources to help you reach your language goals. Visit glossahouse.com to find what you've been looking for. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.